Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech News. I'm your host, Nicholas Belvo. This week, I'm all by myself as my colleague Pascal is in Paris for the Fintech Forum in Paris. But nonetheless, we still have a lot of news for you today, starting with the Career Fair, which is happening tomorrow, FrontFundr, which is now in Ontario, the 4 startups accepted in the Innovate Financial Health Impact Accelerator program, and Finance Montreal, which signs an MOU with Swave. So let's kick things off with the Career Fair happening tomorrow. It's going to be the biggest yet. We're organizing it. We have over 30 companies there present, hundreds of jobs available. It's looking to be one of the biggest fintech career fairs in Canada. So if you're not already registered, invite you to check it out. Or if you just want to come and meet the companies, meet the participants there, you're more than welcome. It's free to register, and the registration is open until 5 p.m. tomorrow. Next up, we have FrontFundr. So this is a company out of Vancouver, which is an equity crowdfunding platform. So they are already pretty much throughout Canada with a presence in Alberta, BC, Manitoba, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec, and Saskatchewan. But we just heard that they've been approved by the Ontario Securities Committee to be able to now do business in Ontario. They enable startups to raise up to $250,000 twice per year and enable investors to invest up to $5,000 per company. So it's great for the alternative investment startups. In that space, it's not always obvious how individual investors can get into private markets. And this startup, FrontFundr, is one of those that enables people who are not necessarily accredited investors to be able to invest in alternative investments. The CEO claims that the private market enables a 3 to 4% higher return rate than public markets, which is interesting and is just a good way to diversify what's possible in the investment space. Next up, IFH Impact Accelerator. So they're one of our partners, and it's very exciting news because out of 40 startups that applied to their new accelerator program, 4 were selected and just announced, and they are Altruism, Policy.me, Quiber, and Zayzoon. So the mission of IFH Impact Accelerator is to improve Canadians' financial health. Obviously a very noble mission that a lot of competitions are working on, but their sole focus is that. So it's a 3-month program where each startup will receive a $25,000 grant and then access to over 70 mentors throughout their curriculum. Fintech Cadence will be part of those mentors, giving support to these 4 startups. So I'll just run you through quickly what they're all about. Altruism is trying to make it easier for people to make money decisions when life throws a curveball. You're not sure. For example, you realize you want to buy a property, but not sure the best way of going about it, or a medical accident occurs and you're not sure what the best way to go about treating that financial burden. So Altruism is there to give you advice in terms of your financial decisions. Policy.me, a life insurance marketplace. So we're seeing a lot of these pop up, but it's really interesting to see in the life insurance space. Quiber, so it's a saving tool. They analyze your spending habits, and then whatever money they believe you're able to save, they automatically transfer that to what they call the Quiber Vault, such that it's out of your common checking account and you don't think about that money, such that you could start building up your savings. And then lastly, Zayzoon. So they're here to provide financial wellness for employees. So it's more a B2B play from what I read, such that employees feel better no matter the salary they're earning, better with their financial health. Lastly, Finance Montreal. So this is news coming straight out from the Paris Fintech Forum. So Finance Montreal signs an MOU with Swave. Swave is an accelerator for fintech companies out in France. And this MOU will enable startups from Montreal to go work out of Swave and vice versa, to be able to share knowledge and best practices between Canada and France, and really building that transatlantic bridge such that fintech both here and abroad is better, and that's really the mission of both Finance Montreal and Swave, to be able to better fintech companies in their own countries, but on the international level as well. So that's a wrap for this FinTech news. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back just after this with the French edition. and make sure you tune in again next week at 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday for another edition of FinTech News. Thanks so much, and have a great week.